Assalamu alaikum, Badimul Ngal Kontong. Salam Omar Wally. Um, from Alialo Nyame, recently we have seen so many issues unfolding back home or in the Gambia. And Ngabaro Jele, he was talking about the media. Media doesn't write anything good about his government. That's one thing. We have seen Ismail Ceesay, who has turned to be the new spin doctor, also attacking the media, attacking, he has been doing so many things. Human rights activists, journalists, and so on. Um, Mbe Alo Nyamendro, this was a guy who, stood and said all the sorts of things up against Barrow and his government. He's clueless, he's incompetent, and so on. But now he turned out to be the he's trying to like be like I said, the spin doctor, trying to attack people, swallowing all what he said. Like he vomited before, and he came back. Alo fono be no. But this is the problem we have in Africa. Most of these young people, imala fi batala, but ilafta balunya nyimala. And Ismaila is one of those people. We knew before he became minister, Kabiring Atada Baroya, he has this deep-seated anger towards people, including Madi Jabate and Alaji Sedi Baro, because he said that to people. Ko, he has to he has to grind and ask with them, you know. And all Lakutalewe Nyinding. Yeah, so he will go after those people and be attacking them, attacking their personalities. And no, at Ismaila Multimengalonko, his records are not clean. We know. He said here, he was in Europe, I remember Kije, and in Molebije. So many things that people know. Here is a guy who fall onto in two categories. Number one, you call yourself an educated guy. You know what educated people do? Let me give an example of professors, university lecturers. Let's say Kenya, Professor Wangari Maathai, the lady behind the Green Belt movement. She planted over millions of trees. She was a lecturer at the university. At the same time, there was a political turmoil in Kenya. Daniel Arap Moi was the president at the time. But she wasn't quiet. She spoke against Daniel Arap Moi. Neighboring Uganda, Idi Amin was the president at the time. Ali Muzuri was a lecturer at Makerere University. The same thing. Ali Muzuri spoke against Idi Amin. Idi Amin, one of the most brutal dictators in our history, because a man who even butchered his wife, put her corpses in a car, drove to Mulago Hospital and deposited the body there. It was also believed that because of Idi Amin's brutality, elephants at Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda, they fled, they en masses from Uganda. They went to Democratic Republic of Congo. But Idi Amin Nalo brutality bay, Ali Muzuri spoke against Idi Amin. He had to flee. Going the same Uganda under Yoweri Museveni, Stella Nyanzi also did similar thing. You go even Anish Kapoor, he spoke against. You look at Wole Soyinka, they all spoke against bad leadership. Chinua Achebe, when he started, it was colonialism in Nigeria. Things fall apart. It dealt with the impact of colonialism in Africa. Even back in 1983, he even wrote a memoir, The Trouble with Nigeria. All that is meant to address problems of Nigeria. And 1983, if you open anybody who reads The Problem with Nigeria, the title The Trouble with Nigeria or The Problems with Nigeria, you read that book B, it's like what Chinua Achebe wrote nearly 40 years ago, Olebe Cake and Gambia. You Professor Karanal, that's what they do. But it man so far, ye baro, ye brother, ye cool be for jang, sign, you swallow all that pride. It will kana bula molala, it will media regulate, it will you attacking journalists. We understand last week too or so, you summoned some journalists in your office, compel them to withdraw their story, to write a rejoinder, or else you will take them to court. Smell yam it be fumble. If Fulangol, you go to South Africa, Julius Malema, he pulled out of ANC and he was able to gather 10 million people. You go to neighboring Zimbabwe, Nelson Chamisa, from Robert Mugabe time, coming all the way to Emerson Mnangagwa, they all spoke against bad leadership. Abiy Ahmed, he was in his 40s. When Haile Mariam Desalegn stepped aside as the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, he became, I told you, Prime Minister of Ethiopia. So you can count Uganda, Bobby Wine. We know Dr. Besigye and others stood against Yoweri Museveni. Bobby Wine, a young guy, he stood against another dictator. You cross to another a neighboring country, Rwanda. One of the most brutal dictators, vicious guys, Paul Kagame. While I see people do clap for him, Rwanda developed, it's nonsense. So Daniel Rigara, a 38-year-old lady, is the one who stood against Paul Kagame. Ite be jang iman so far, ibara kantang. Ite alon ko banko man tartaka. Ite menka sika fo funding ke ole ko ha, ni menga chance da lebu dia. Alebo ni banko ka because there is no hope in this country. Ite la kada si radio de ka molneng. Ndala Islam e memfo na dino e memfo na tradition and culture e memfo. Ni e muso de la sala. Ika sobe yale ke, ye kuro ke ya fudu. Ala you said Barrow did not do anything wrong. Ala Islam won ala culture and values e mendiala. That's what he did. He kuro le ke muso fudu. Ede muna no. Fede ma fede samuda. Ede ne muso le be sitting, staring in imam memfudu. You should be ashamed of yourself to be attacking people. Going back to some of these young people, nka memfo. If Fulan wolle kudu, even neighbor in Senegal, Osman Sonko, John Mai, Guy Marissagna. But il after balunyala, il soto masi. So you have to be a loose puppy and start going after the people. I know we will tell you this. You know, there are people who try to do this. You cannot regulate the media. And I'm not sure if you want all-out war. Because if you want to overstretch this, there is journalism and there is mock rhetoric. I'm not sure you want to get into that level with people. Journalism, and we will turn to be a mock records. I don't think that is in your interest. I don't think you want to go into that level with us. In journalism, there is what we call maximum point of interest. Who are you? Totseko, you will determine or tell people what we should write and what we shouldn't write. You said you want to regulate. You cannot set the agenda for journalists. We will set the agenda. You cannot set the agenda because yale man la fena. So welcome volem doro. Domi gor wali ngai war la ngal yekal si gal haj. Why buñ la fa feka nga leka. I think that is the why yo deng la yekal si gal haj. Ñu feka la fa nga leka be nga gix. I think yo da nga gix mbadu nga fonya. Nga mo suru aka on senata. Ide bu kam malu. And I think it is time, you have so many, things in the cupboard there. Stop going after people. Ebe alaji seri malajang, ebe madi malajang, and so on. Ila record is not clean. Stop going after people. Stop personal attacks. Because itela dunia be tinyatale. You don't believe in anything. Because this is the end of your life. So leave people alone. Ebe la joya mena continue with that. Mo musole be faka o banko kang. Electricity problem, insecurity. The problem in the Gambia is compounded. But because you're a Pajero dealer, if you cannot afford that, they gave you a flashy car, you cannot create employment for yourself. You decide to go after people. But yalo malo ni kadamadu malo doyata. Ninna kake. So I think we have reached at a level. You have crossed the red line. We will put you in your tracks. Like I said, you want to get into fight? No. People will help you with that. But ngajale, all what you said over the past years, covering when that CA became, all what you said about Barrow, You try to swallow all that. Now you want to tell us a different story. Fede wara mundu. Don't you people have conscience? That's what I cannot get. Don't you have conscience? Because bari mandingol kamem fo wolam fanam foreal man kanyang malolte kanyan nol. Nida kam malunum. Over you, I think you will be cleaning the streets of Banjul than to be running after Barrow. To be running your mouth like this. So fata mola, fata journalist hola. And how can a government or any leadership or government, whatever you call it, Ejako, you want to operate, but you don't want media. These are great components. Many along it help the government not to sway. Journalists, opposition. Muna na ye alesi form because you feel that Banko betaka nyama, mantan taka wanya. Part of the reasons that's why you form the party with other people. You said you have a better ideas and other things to put in place, but you abandon ship. You put yourself in something else. So that is the issue, Ismail Ceesay. Fata Mola, you cannot determine anything for anybody. Banko be tembo mento. Mo be al nembe tembo mento sign. Okay? But not that ita mu multi man la fenna, mol be de lata fenna. For it among where didn't you presided over when they give millions of dollars to media houses in the Gambia? Fadel Mang State Broadcaster Sodoje. But near your agenda, whatever you call it, the good things, because you are not doing anything good. This is what happened during the civil war in Liberia. Robin Wilde went to the church, and the pastor said, "There is nothing good. You talk about Liberia." I could know. Like I said earlier on, you can set the agenda for the media. You cannot dictate us. And if you want to stretch, you can go and look up this word. We will do mock record. And if a journalist turns to be a mock record, it's going to be a disaster.